healing potions. I feel the hit points flooding back already. The book says they're 50 gold pieces a time, and they heal X amount. I forget, I think it's like D8 plus 3 or something. Anyway, not the point. My players always refused to buy them because they didn't want to pay 50 gold pieces. And it strikes me that healing potions being the most expensive commodity around aside from armour, but certainly as far as consumables go, they're very expensive. And when you think about that, the fact that they are so expensive and yet it's just a little bottle containing a liquid that most people wouldn't be able to tell apart from random stuff in a bottle. Surely there's a big market for counterfeit healing potions because there's a lot of money to be made. You imagine you roll into a city, you manage to sell 2 or 3 healing potions. That's 150 gold pieces. You just disappear, move on to the next city. The living cost in D&D is 1 gold piece a day. Sell a couple of healing potions, you're covered for half a year. But think about that also, coming from a civilized first world country, I didn't really sort of twig this straight away, but that's 2 months' salary for the normal, average citizen. Healthcare is expensive for these people. In the world of D&D, you die if you're ill. Which kind of doesn't really surprise me in a sense. I should have thought about it because it's a fantasy game sort of roughly representing a sort of dark age time, but also D&D in particular was written in America where they're sort of socially still somewhat behind. They might argue they just have a different ideal, I suppose, but as a European I find that, shocking, frankly. But politics aside, if you've got such an expensive commodity, then it's going to attract every potential snake oil salesman in the world. So, you turn up in a village, you might have a travelling snake oil salesman. You could, even if they meet each other on the roads, they might be fighting each other because they don't want the competition, or because they might even exchange information. That Dorothy from the village over here, I sold her some about 3 weeks ago, so might want to give it a couple more months and then the gout will get the better of her again, and then you might be able to get a sale. I'm going out east. That kind of thing. And then, of course, people who sell real healing potions, they're going to have to compete with the snake oil salesman, and yet their product costs real gold to produce. They haven't got the margins that somebody just getting a load of random stuff and putting it in a bottle would get. Maybe there's a whole quest line there. Snake oil salesmen have been ripping off the villagers, and you've got to first of all help the villagers and cure them if you can, and then track down the snake oil salesman. Because as much as in many D&D worlds magic can be quite abundant, it's not available to the level zeros, to the citizenry. So how does the world of magic interact with that citizenry? It's very expensive to make a healing potion. Much cheaper, of course, to cast a heal. But churches are a business. They want to make money too. And if there's no church around, if it's a small settlement, and let's face it, this is the world of D&D, you don't necessarily have a temple in every village. Or if perhaps you have 3, perhaps you've got lots of gods in your world. But it's in D&D, unlike the Dark Age Britain. Well, it's not such a Dark Age, but certainly in the Middle Ages in Britain, every village had a church. But that's not always the case in our D&D worlds. So where are people getting their cures from? Food for thought.